we have an action-packed video this week, so stay tuned to see how I got on in my interval session. We've also got my thoughts on how I'm going to train for this impending Valencia Marathon in 13 weeks time. Join me for a false start to my long run, which turned into my best ever finish at parkrun, then followed by some spectating at the speedy Wilne 10k. It's Thursday night, come join me for my second session of a week, so it's been a good week so far. I've got one session in and going for the next one. So tonight's session is a 3 lots of 2 minutes 30, 3 lots of 2 minutes and 3 lots of 90 seconds, so relatively short reps. I've got 9 to get through, and the recoveries for this session are going to be all 75 seconds, but the recovery for the longer reps are a jog recovery, then it's going to a walk recovery on the 2 minute reps, and then a static recovery after the 90 seconds. Just that the harder I'm pushing on my reps, the more sort of relaxed my recovery is going to be, the more I'm going to recover from it, and the better I'm going to be able to push in those reps. So that's 2 reps done now, and the pace that I ran those first 2 minute 30 reps at are around 6:25, which is a 20-minute 5k, which is good pace for me to aim at the moment. So I've shortened the recoveries to 60 seconds as a bit push for time before my coaching session starts. So taking the paces back a little bit, I'd like to try and work down to low 6s at under 6 minute mile pace for the 90 seconds. So that's the first rep of the 2 minutes done now. So I hit a good sort of 6:20-ish pace for all of those 2 minute 30 reps. And then that one was a low 6 minutes. So I'm going to try and keep that effort, keep that pace. It's helping having the walk recovery this time, be able to recover more and go harder on this rep. That's the first of 3 90 seconds reps done, so that one really good effort. 5:45 pace on that, so I'm just getting just over 400 meters in that time, so I'm going to try and hold up for the next one and kick on a bit in the last one. Right, last rep now, big push to the finish, 90 seconds. Let's try and hit about 5:30 pace for this one if I can. Try and take 15 seconds per mile pace off it. So last one, leave it all out there.
Straight after my session on Thursday night, I do my coach session in the park at Gresley Park. So I was joined by Dan and Paul this week, who did the same session that I'd done, but we had 75 seconds recovery after each rep. So if you are in the area, in Gresley, Swadlincote area, and fancy a session on a Thursday night at 5:30, it's a free session, you're welcome to pop along.
So it's Friday night and you're joining me post-work, post short back and sides, so a little bit more aerodynamic than my last clip in the session, and I'm out for what is my first easy run of a week, so a little bit of an odd week really, doing my first easy run on a Friday night, but I'm just going to talk about why I'm not too concerned about that this week. So ordinarily, if I had just done 2 sessions with no easy runs, I'd be thinking, what kind of daft training is this that I'm doing? But this week I would have planned to got some easy runs in, but as it worked out, I've not managed to do that, but I've got a bit of extra time, easy work on the bike in, so I've done 2.5 hours of cycling this week, which adds to my endurance the same way as an easy run would, but I'm keeping a little bit of the pressure on my joints, a little bit of that overload off. So I'm going to be operating a slightly lower running volume this week, but the extra cross training will add to my training load and my endurance, making it a good week. It's now around 13 weeks, about 3 months or so until Valencia Marathon, which is my big goal at the end of this year. And so far I've not really managed to kick into a good training block, a good rhythm of training. It's been very disrupted this year, and I think that lends itself to the approach that I'm taking now for the marathon, which is one I'd usually take really. It's going to be more of a incremental, iterative approach really, to see where I'm at now and just try and progressively increase this for the Valencia Marathon. So what I'm trying to say is I don't want to set myself a prescriptive 12-week training program working back from where I'd like to be for the marathon, because I just don't see this working for me. I don't want to put pressure on myself to hit certain targets. And really the best way that I can get to that start line is to build on where I am now, increase that training load through my running, through that cross training, and be as fit as I possibly can be in 12 to 13 weeks on that start line in Valencia. And that will give me the best shot of trying to run under sub 3. In terms of races and the build-up, I don't plan on having too much in my calendar, because I do want to prioritise that weekend to get a good quality long run or long run session in. So know that I'm only limited to around 12 or 13 of these before the marathon, so I don't want to take them up with running, say, a 5k, a 10k. That's not really relevant to my goal of a marathon. But saying that, I have got a tune-up race at the Worksop half marathon, so I think it's a good idea. I found it in the past for me, it's worked well to have a tune-up race, like a dress rehearsal almost, going into a marathon. So I find that the half marathon can simulate that pretty well, because you can run out at a decent pace for a half marathon, and you know that what you're going to be capable of going through halfway in the marathon. You know that if you've done one in, say, 1:25, that you don't want to be going through halfway of a marathon any quicker than that, or within about 4 or 5 minutes of that really. So it's a good tester really, a good tester of getting a race number on, getting in that race day routine. If you've not done it for a while, it can add to the nerves when you go back to race. So that's the idea of it, and I'm looking forward to running that. It's around 5 weeks before the marathon, so I've still got plenty of time to get in some good kind of shape for that and see how I go for the marathon. I'm going to explain to you now how a parkrun disaster to the start of my day has turned itself into my best ever parkrun in terms of finishing place. So my plan for today going out was to do my long run, but with a parkrun effort in the middle. So I set off slightly earlier to Conkers to get about 5 miles in before parkrun. So it's 3 miles away. I wanted to do a little bit more distance so I wouldn't have so much to do after parkrun, but it soon became apparent after about a mile that my honey nut clusters hadn't gone down and settled so well in my stomach. So I thought the best course of action here was to turn around, come home, and at that point just thought I'll just get my long run into myself. But coming back, had a bit more time, and I remembered that Coronation Park run had opened on my usual training loop, easy run loop, about half a mile away from mine. So I thought, great, I can still make this. So I headed on down to Coronation Park run. So I'd done 3 miles before parkrun and set off at a reasonable pace really. So there were only a couple of people in front of me at the start, and that's the way it remained for about the first mile. So the course is 3 slightly different laps each time. The first lap is a bit of a maze. You go in and out of a few tight turns and up over a bit of a dog leg over a hill. And it was at that point I went from 3rd to 2nd, and I was quite a distant 2nd today. So it was keeping me in check really, that if I could keep in third position for the park run, or second position even, when I got it, that I was going to be somewhere near that 20-minute mark. I actually completed that first mile in about 6:20, my watch split at, so bearing in mind 20-minute parkrun pace is about 6:25s. I give my watch a little bit of leeway because it does cheat a bit and overestimate and says that I'm running a quicker pace than what I am. So I thought, oh yes, this is bang on. I'm going to try and get this 20-minute parkrun today. So I set about that. I tried to hang on to that. On the next two loops were fairly similar, the route I was accustomed to, so it flashed up 6:25 on my second mile. So I thought, right, I'm bang on here, absolutely bang on that time, might even have 5 seconds of leeway. And then the third mile was the same as 6:25, so I'm waiting for my official result from parkrun because I didn't record it as a separate activity, but I should be under that 20-minute barrier. And that today was good enough for second place, which is my best ever highest result finish at parkrun. So not in terms of timing, but in terms of placing. So I'll pick a little parkrun that no one really knows about, it's only just opened, and go and do that. So I was just lucky that not that many people turned up today. I was able to get second place, which I think third place is my highest finish, but I've had to run in the 18 minutes for that third place. So it's my highest ever finish at parkrun this morning. This morning was the Wilne 10k, so this was a race that I had penciled into my calendar for quite a while, but it was only penciled in as I'd not entered this, and when I came to enter a couple of weeks ago it had all sold out, so unfortunately missed the boat on this one. But it was one of those days where it makes you proud to be involved in the running of your friends and people close to you. There was two really good performances today where both Robbie and Emma both got PBs. So firstly Robbie Cresswell Howe, who you'll be probably familiar with on the channel if you've watched videos from the past couple of years. I regularly train with Robbie, and he had a PB of 35:01 I believe going into Wilne, so right at the sharp end, and he managed to come away with 34:37, so smashed through that 35-minute barrier, and really is a sort of testament to he's relentless with his training. And I don't mean in a way of pushing really hard on sessions, I mean keep turning up every day, getting out the door, bagging those 60-70 mile weeks even when you don't feel like you're getting any quicker. And that is the best way to play this game, have that consistency over time. And I'm really pleased for Robbie that it's come off in a fantastic PB. And again, I'm very proud of Emma, my girlfriend, for getting a massive PB really at Wilne 10k. So her PB going into this was, I'd say, a little bit of an outdated one of 35:58 that she ran at Telford almost a year ago now. So I think she's got quicker since then, but she has dealt with a frustrating layoff with an injury as she ramped up to marathon training. So she's got over that now, and the first race back to run in 35 minutes 01, which was a commanding win and a massive PB really. So well done to Emma. It was a fantastic result at Wilne. It was also great to see so many club mates from South Derbyshire. So with it being a local race, I had quite a few of the yellow blue vests out, so I won't go for everyone, but there were some good results out there today from South Derbyshire. And it was great to see YouTube friends too. So John and Dawn were both there, of the two running brooms, so it was good to catch up with them. John was running, he'd said going into it that probably wasn't there for the 10k today, but he still showed up, gave it a good effort and squeaked under the 42-minute barrier, so a good showing for John as well. To briefly round up my own running this week, it's a total of 40 miles, which is that mark I was aiming for over the next couple of weeks while I'm getting back into it. I've done a bit of cross training this week, so 2.5 hours on the bike and an hour in the pool swimming, which is anything's a bonus really on the cross training front. I've managed 2 decent sessions, and then the park run within my long run. So make that 3 sessions for a week. Feels like it's heading in the right direction, back for the first week of Valencia Marathon training. So I think officially I'd like to sort of tell myself of that mindset that I am in marathon training now. It gives me that goal to work towards and will push me on to more mileage, showing up for those sessions and being ready for Valencia Marathon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next week's video.